Hi Cancer, Sun, Moon and Rising. Welcome to Ethernal Realms and welcome to your February reading. So we will see what the major theme for this month for you is, and then we'll break it down into the top 3 major highlights throughout the month, and then we will get into your oracle and tarot cards to get some more detail. So what we have here is waning gibbous moon with express. This talks about, well, quite literally, how you're expressing yourself, who you're communicating with, how you are communicating, how you're presenting yourself, as well, the impressions that you want to be making, that you are making at this time, and so on. So there can be some social events that happen or some information that you get, or you are asking for information, and therefore there is an expression of a desire towards a choice or a decision. All right, let's see what else comes up. We have scissors, which indicates a disappointment in some affair. Okay, then we have lily, which signifies spiritual love. And the third thing we have is the wheel, indecisiveness, allowing your life to ramble aimlessly. Okay, I would like to know more about the cards, but so far what I'm getting is that you are moving out of a disappointment, to be honest. Like, this could be more of a long-term disappointment that is happening and you're kind of cutting it off. That's what I keep getting with the scissors. And you're kind of prioritizing what is truthfully fulfilling for you at this time. So if letting go of an issue is the best way to go, then this would be the month to kind of cut it off fully from even yourself, like your attachment to it and so on. So the spiritual love indicates like a complete cleansing, healing and purification of sorts. This can be pertaining to, relationships, but it can also be an internal thing as well, where if we are disappointed in ourselves or in a situation, then we're kind of cutting it out of our mind, just letting it loose, right? So that we can uplift ourselves. Okay. So let's get into some more details and see what this is about. We have nourished the sacred feminine. Your intuition is quite sharp in this month, and we see a moon here, and the moon is your ruler. So hang on, we have a full moon in Cancer, sorry, a full moon in Leo, and we have a new moon in Pisces. So these guys are not like directly related with you, these two zodiacs, but Pisces is a water sign and it really brings about emotional healing and understanding as well. And full moons in Leo kind of bring about, a burst of confidence, and like we see what is right, what is true, because full moon is complete, so it illuminates a lot more that has been hidden underneath the surface. So around the first week of this month, you might, discover something about yourself. There might be an intuition perhaps, or you get certain dreams or like warning signs, things like that. This is especially if there is a disappointment that is ongoing in your life, of course, but there can be this clarity that dawns upon you, like, why do I keep doing this? Or like, why does this happen? Why do I allow this to happen in any regard, right? Whether that is mental attention or emotional attachment or something else entirely. But either way, there is a realization, a recognition of what has been underneath the surface. And then we have move beyond intention to belief, and the symbolism here is about a key, and that is kind of radiant with some rays coming out of it basically, and that indicates the divine answer or the divine key. So it can indicate that you have this sort of epiphany or recognition, realization that dawns upon you, and you're like, I know what to do, like I know how to upgrade myself to move past difficulties in my life. I know what exactly keeps me stuck, and therefore I now know how to fix it, or how can I like alleviate the symptoms across time. So especially if this is related with emotional distress in some way, then this can be where your self-conviction, your self-respect, and also the kind of fortifying yourself basically. I'm getting a feeling of creating boundaries, not not in a way that you're not allowing anyone in, but there is still a reserved nature to this where you are learning more about yourself, right? Moving beyond intention to belief is very much putting that on you. So even if there are external components to this, it still comes back to what are your priorities, what are you cultivating, what do you want to be feeling instead, where do you want to be headed, and so on. So there can be some decision points here in this month, which is going to kind of determine how you feel about this month overall. But there are going to be questions that come up in the beginning. Again, it can be internally triggered, it can be externally triggered. It depends on your life, honestly. Because for me, like, I don't interact with too many people, and we don't get personal wherever I stay here. So it's not always my external world that impacts me. It's just a thought that comes up, and then I go through my ups and downs, for example. Right? So take it as it resonates. Then we have a Feed Your Artist, which directly goes in with the expression. This can be, there can be a discovery of a new hobby or a new way that you can channel your emotions and better cope with everything that is happening around you. Even if, let's say, you have just a standard busy life, it can, like, being busy is not our natural state of being. So there is a baseline of some level of stress or distress. So taking up a hobby or spending time with loved ones, that can be a wonderful way to cope and kind of relax, let loose, and have fun, and kind of step outside of the rules and so on. So with video artists, you can take up like drawing or singing or acting or dancing, something of that sort, where you are expressing how you are feeling as it is. Okay, if you already are an artist, then this is where you're gaining a lot more confidence. You might be disappointed in your previous works, for example, but you kind of channel that as it makes you kind of more fierce. There's just this confidence I'm getting, even though it's very quiet. It's so from the inside that there's no denying that, right? You're kind of uplifting yourself. I suppose that would be a good way to put that. You're proving things to yourself. You're recognizing more about your potential and so on. So that's a big thing, right? Wow. Okay. So we have the Hermit, which is absolutely on point with everything that we're talking about. This is soul searching. It's about also listening to your own advice, being your own sage, learning from your experiences, making mistakes, learning, making mistakes, learning, and then growing, right? This is where you come within and ask yourself for advice. Like, can I do it? You know, can I go through this? Have I gone through this? What have I learned? The question always points to you as a soul, as a journey, because honestly, this is your journey, right? Other people are ultimately not going to be the decider of how everything goes. So the Hermit kind of, even if it's triggered by external environment, it brings questions about the self and the priorities of you. Yeah. There can be some time that you're spending in isolation to do some soul searching, kind of brainstorm, get some ideas, or like expressing yourself in different ways. So you're trying things out. So you're kind of finding different ways of expressing in that manner. You might also be trying to perfect something that is already your passion or a mode of expression, because it corresponds with Virgo. Then we have Queen of Wands, which indicates being very courageous, confident, self-assured, and sociable as well. You are magnetic, and you can be quite influential and also noticed in this month when we have this here. This can also indicate that the full moon in Leo is a very important time for you, because it can bring about new opportunities, for example, or illuminate new sources of income, new sources of confidence, and where you can actually master yourself, kind of teach something as well, depending on what stage you are in life at this time. But either way, there is noticeability and attention that you will be getting over here. Then we have the World, which indicates you might be thinking about really big questions here. The Hermit already thinks about like big questions, like what am I doing here? What's my purpose? Am I going along this, right path, or is this the best way to proceed something, and so on and so forth. Like, there's so many questions, right? It's, to name a few. So the World can indicate that you want to travel, or you want to learn more, you want to expand more. It is all about that upgrading. You're asking these questions because there's a whole world out there that you want to know more about, right? So this can be, for example, you want to go to get your arts degree, right? But you might need to arrange the funds, or you might to save up some more, or you might even like have to apply and you don't have so much time. You might be questioning if you can do a part-time job or not, and so on and so forth. So many questions. You're asking these things, but the inevitable choice at this moment, it feels like, is that one cycle is done. Okay, something that has been long drawn, a disappointment or a storyline that has just kept on going. For example, the cycle of feeling unsure, right? If that has kept on going, then this is the time that that closes out, and there is a renewed sense of confidence and pride in the self. Okay. Then we have Three of Cups, which indicates meeting your pride. Meeting your pride, honestly. It seems like your biggest supporters, like this is your clan, this is your soul group, and so on. So you can be spending time with very close members that you know, who completely understand you and where you're coming from, who see your intention and your emotion and understand that. And even sometimes, things get rough, but you're still standing by each other's side. That's basically the Three of Cups here. So you could be spending time with those people. Apart from that, it indicates that you have a strong support team. Also in the world, it indicates that you're being divinely protected. So anything that does not work out is for the best. That's also another thing that I'm getting. Now, Three of Cups indicates that you're being supported, you're being guided, and being aligned towards what is for your best here, because Queen of Wands wants the best and nothing but the best. Okay, and her friends with the Three of Cups are making sure that she gets it, basically. All right. Then we have the Four of Wands, which indicates something worth celebrating. So it does not seem like any of this disappointment that we saw earlier is disappointment enough to kind of drag you down throughout this month. Instead, you're like, yep, well, I have an achievement. I'm cutting out something from my life which was not good for me. Therefore, it is very much worth celebrating. Wow. So yes, same friends, it seems like, or some celebration or party you might be attending, and someone's birthday, for example, can be coming up as well. Or something related with the home and security is also possible. Someone in your family can have some sort of celebration, or your close friends are achieving something and you guys are all celebrating. Then we have the Ten of Swords, which kind of, I'm surprised it came up last, but I didn't really put these in sequence or anything, but yes, it kind of goes along with the World card that we got, some cycle ending, which was disappointing, but now it's sort of just give it time, it will heal all the wound, but the situation is over and the attachment is over and it's just done and dusted. Let's just move on from that point on. So this month basically is serving as a breaking away point from something that has dragged along for way too long. Right? And at some points it can be confusing about like, where is this going next? What is being, created for me next? And what am I doing next? And so on, right? There can be these big questions, but those are questions worth having at this point, it feels like. Okay, then we have Matter. That's very nice. So in terms of financial and career sense, this looks good. You could be having some celebration in terms of your career. And we have Proton, which indicates positivity, basically. And that's so interesting. Like, matter has these atoms, and within the atom, this one's like right in the center. So it gives off that magnetic vibe once more. You're giving off a lot of positive vibes. People feel very invited towards you. So even if you're not the one having the party, it can be that you're building new connections and new contacts through your celebrations as well. Your friends might introduce you to more friends, or you're being recommended here and there. Especially if you have like a public platform, then the world indicates that you might be more renowned around this time. If you have your own business, you again can be expanding international, or you might have some encouragement from elsewhere. The word is spreading, for example, getting more recommendations, more sales, etc., could be taking place here. That's what I'm getting. Let's see what else. Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising, please. We have Jupiter, Scorpio in the 8th house. Yeah, so basically it says that you're completely psychically protected. You're protected by the universe as well. And your subconscious is being programmed, or like reprogrammed, honestly. the conditionings that were holding you back or limiting you, kind of denying you all the things that you know you deserve. Those things are kind of being worked out. 8th house talks about transformation, so does Scorpio. And what they're transforming are the things that are dark and kind of heavy and feel like a burden, things like that. So we deal with the shadow aspects over there. We also discover what else is the original intention of a subconscious block. For example, feeling like, how you express is not good enough, and therefore we kind of turned off by the things that we are naturally inclined towards, and then we move to other ways of expression, right? So when we delve into the shadow here, what happens is we uncover what the block is, but more than that, why does that even exist? What was the original point? So what is my original nature then? So you keep going one back, one back, one back. That's what Scorpio does. And Jupiter is like you find gold, prosperity, and abundance at the end of that journey. Like Scorpio is literally seeking the light, but it has to first kind of go underneath the ocean surface and pull out all the toxicities from the inside in order to be able to experience the real beauty of what the light is. It wants the truth and nothing but it, and it makes sure to look in the hidden corners before kind of going outside, because there's a very strong chance, we all do it, that we project our internal subconscious mindsets onto the outside world. That's the type of world and reality that we attract and interact with, basically. So the soul searching that you're doing seems like a lot of internal, private, kind of just spending time with yourself, understanding yourself. There can be some self-development that you're doing. You could be going to a therapist, for example, or you find a good counselor, a good guru, and they might really help you out as well. Quite a lot of benefit coming through. Jupiter, all in all, signifies protection, abundance, and also guidance. So if whatever the scenario is for you specifically, there is definitely answers here. Okay, we saw that from the beginning, and we see that even now. So that's what I have for you, Cancers. Thank you so much for being here. I really hope the reading resonated and that it helps you out. Let me know your thoughts, and if you want a personal reading, you can reach me via Etsy. The link is in the description box in the comment below. I will see you some other time. Until then, take care. Bye.